Every 3 hours, one of us doesn't make it. This country buries us before we are born, calls us by our obituaries before it calls us by our names, makes us women with nervous conditions with their guard up, law enforcement with a broken system with too much power.
The Feminist Society on 16 Days of Activism. This is an international campaign that starts on the 25th of November on the International Elimination Day Against Violence for Women and Children and ends on the 10th of December, International Human Rights Day. Activism. Yes, we understand it's easier said than done, but it's not just protesting in the streets. You can do things like retweeting a tweet or even sharing a post on gender-based violence. We as a school need to work together. Start by confronting that one friend that disrespects women, stop covering up with them, and stop excusing their behavior. But just remember, your actions and words should reflect what you post. #practice what you post.
1 in 4 women sadly experience gender-based violence within their lifetime. Talking about abuse and communicating with family, friends and co-workers is important in building a community whereby we are able to be determined to breaking the silence. Remember to remind yourself, why is ending domestic violence important to you?
Do you have a friend, colleague, a family member or a local organization that you trust and you go on for support? For example, a Red Crisis, that is a 24-hour support organization that offers financial and medical assistance for rape survivors.
Donate to organizations that work against gender-based violence and that aim to help victims of violence, such as the Saki Bachman Center, which is a shelter for abused women and children, as well as Haven Night Shelter and Sisters Incorporated.
Over 11,000 assaulted GBV female cases were opened with police from April to June 2022, and 9,156 rape cases altogether. Yet, only 286 convictions occurred from April to June, and only 46 rapists were sentenced to life in prison.
The cycle of abuse is a repetitive pattern of behavior that consists of threats, violence, and promises of change. These promises of change make it harder for victims to leave their abusers. Abuse should never be tolerated. I have discovered that we are less prey to the repetition of compulsion if we are willing to acknowledge what happened to us. If we do not claim that we are mistreated for our own good, and if we have not had to ward off completely our painful reactions to the past. The more we idealize our past, however, and refuse to acknowledge our childhood sufferings, the more we are to pass them on unconsciously to the next generation. This quote explains the importance of speaking out, because it does not only save yourself, but it saves future generations.
From a very early age, we're taught what to do when we're outside our homes, ranging from what we wear, where we go, and who we're with. Rape doesn't just happen to that one woman on the news. Over 150 women report that rape daily. Rape culture is real. It's the environment that normalizes rape by blaming victims, sexualizing them, not believing them, and objectifying them.
I said no, but he didn't stop. He assaulted me because he knew he could get away with it. You pretended to be my friend, but you stole my innocence. These are all quotes from women who still continue to fight for justice in South Africa against gender-based violence today. If you ever need help, do not be afraid to call these helplines. For a 24-hour counseling and gender-based helpline and community intervention center, call 082-821-3447. And for a lifeline domestic violence, call 0800 150 150.